Hi Hanny, hope you're fitting well. It's Ray here from Just for Keepers, J4K. First of all, 1,000 thanks for joining the J4K 30-day challenge on how to become mentally strong as a goalkeeper. Obviously, you've entered this on behalf of your 13-year-old daughter, and seriously, if she goes through all the videos, Hanny, she will become bulletproof in terms of being mentally strong as a goalkeeper. But please, and you'll hear me go on about this in the videos over the 30-day challenge, it's super important that once you and your daughter know what to do in terms of visualizing and building your daughter's self-confidence, it's got to be done on a consistent basis. Where unfortunately most goalkeepers fail is they'll do it for like 1 or 2 days and then don't do anything for 3 weeks, and then they'll do something for 1 day, then don't do anything for 5 days. That's really it's going to take a lot longer if you do that. It's got to be done on a consistent basis, on a daily basis. Honestly, professional and international goalkeepers who've been playing in goal for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you know, they still visualize every single day. Even as a goalkeeping coach, and I'm over 50 now, I still visualize every day because it's that important. So please drill that into your daughter, Hanny. It's got to be consistent. And the beauty about visualization and developing your mindset, it only takes a few minutes each day. Literally, and you can literally do it anywhere, whether you're having your lunch, your breakfast, whether you're obviously just about to go to bed, whether you're in the shower, you know, whether you're the passenger in a car, you could be on public transport. You can visualize anywhere and everywhere, and that's the beauty about visualization. So let's go back to what you were saying about obviously your daughter. And you were saying that one of the things is one of the main things that your daughter is uncomfortable with is actually, you know, shouting out, you know, shouting to her teammates or shouting keepers, etc. And you're right, okay, you know, she's only 13, and it is only natural to be you know, to be a bit quiet, to be a bit shy, you know. And again, I say J4K, we've been going since 1998 now, Hanny. We've coached tens of thousands of goalkeepers, and 99.9% of goalkeepers are naturally quiet. But obviously, if you want to develop, if your daughter wants to achieve her dreams and to become a goalkeeper, you know, whether that's to become professional, gain a college scholarship in the United States, etc., she will need to communicate, because goalkeepers have got to be vocal, and it's one of the most important things goalkeepers need to get right, is obviously their communication. But obviously, as a 13-year-old, you know, it's going to take time. So obviously, no pressure on your daughter, Hanny. Just obviously, what I'm going to teach you now, hopefully you can gradually help your daughter improve as the weeks and months and years go by. And one of the main reasons why goalkeepers are quiet and they don't shout, and even you know, even with adult goalkeepers as well, it's not just children, when they're not 100% sure what they should be shouting, you know, they won't shout, okay, if that makes sense. And this is where especially the communication from, you know, because obviously it's not just about shouting, because one of the massive mistakes goalkeepers make is they just shout, talk, and it means nothing. And what happens is, and again, you hear a lot of coaches and a lot of managers will shout to the goalkeeper, come on, communicate. But the answer is, well, what should you communicate? Okay, if it's just shout, that's actually wrong, okay? So even though it's good to communicate, okay, Hanny, you've got to do it at the right times. So again, unfortunately, a lot of goalkeepers, especially young goalkeepers, they're just taught by, with the greatest respect, their coaches and management who, if they've never played in goal before, they don't really know what they're doing. So they'll just say, hey, just communicate. You know, you should be talking. Yeah, you should be talking, but at the right times and the right communications. Because if a goalkeeper just talks, what will happen is their defence and teammates will eventually stop listening, because they go, oh God, Ray's just talking again, a load of nonsense. So as a goalkeeper, you've got to communicate, but at the right times. And there's two types of communication, Hanny. First and foremost is for ourselves as goalkeepers, okay, to keep ourselves on our toes. And secondly, to give communications and instructions and encouragement to our teammates. So the first thing is to say, again, don't worry if your daughter's quiet on the pitch, okay? It's most probably because she's not being taught how to communicate correctly by her goalkeeping coach or by her management, etc. So I'll just give you a few tips that you can give to your daughter, Hanny. So again, the first thing, as I say, is if your daughter's unsure what to shout, like in terms of instructions, First of all, as I say, she just needs to be just to give encouragement to start off with. So if her defender, has makes a good header of the ball, for example, make sure she just says, great header, but also put a name to it as well, because that makes that person feel special as well. So if the left back's called Sharon, for example, your daughter can shout, great header, Sharon. Or if the right back, Tiffany, she makes a fantastic slide tackle, again, your daughter can shout, great tackle, Tiffany. So again, as I say, so you can start off with encouragement just to start off with, Hanny, and that what happens then is the more your daughter gets to start shouting encouragement, the instruction will start to come, especially as she gets older and starts to understand what to say, and hopefully her goalkeeping coach or the management will tell her what to say as well, because as a young goalkeeper, it's super important. This is where the adults and the coaches should step in, because it is very difficult for a goalkeeper, never mind a younger goalkeeper, an older goalkeeper as well. It's not just about shouting and talking, it's about shouting the right communications as well. So again, just get your daughter to start just with encouragement to start off with, great header, great tackle, and every now and again, come on guys, just keep going, and just get used to doing that as well. Then also here's some simple instructions that you can tell your daughter as well. And again, let's say for example, the left back or the right back, they're playing, and obviously what the opposing wingers try to do, they always try and drift away and get space, don't they? And obviously if the left back, for example, if they're not paying attention to the winger, obviously if they get too much space, that's obviously trouble for the goalkeeper. So again, as a goalkeeper, just simple things like, again, let's say for example, your left back is called, Michelle. Again, you just and the winger is drifting away from your left back. So again, all your daughter needs to shout is, Michelle, left shoulder. Again, keep it simple. Keep it very simple. Left shoulder. Or for the right back, Sharon, right shoulder, beware. Keep it simple. Okay, keep it sharp, loud, and very, very quick to the point. Sharon, left shoulder. And then what happens then is your left back will look to the left shoulder, give the thumbs up. And then what happens then is when you just shout commands like that, or when your daughter does, Hanny, that's when your defenders will start to listen, because your daughter is not just, she's not just going talk, and it means nothing. Your defenders and her teammates will know every time, your daughter shouts something, we've got to listen, because our player is getting away from us. So that makes sense, Hanny. So first thing is just encourage your daughter just to give instruction. It's just to give encouragement. Okay, just to give encouragement to start off with, and then just basic instructions. Left shoulder. Always put a name to it as well. Super important. No matter what communication, if it's to give encouragement, put a name to it, because it makes your player feel great. If it's to give instruction, again, shout your player's name, because obviously they need to know it's them that's in potential danger. So again, Sharon, left shoulder. But also other simple instructions could be as well, is if your player has got time on the ball, just shout time, again with the name, time Michelle. Again, if it's if the ball needs to be away, if the ball needs to be kicked away. Again, just simple, but a name, away Sharon. Yep, over to yours, keepers. Okay, so again, just go over this video again, Hanny, with your daughter. Again, going to repeat myself. First of all, just get her to start shouting encouragement, because that's the easiest thing to do. Well done, fantastic. Always put a name to it. But then the instructions, keep them simple. Remember, if the opponent is getting too far away to the left, left shoulder, right shoulder, with a name, right shoulder Michelle. Okay, and again, when it needs to be cleared, away Michelle, you know what I mean, etc. Or when you want the ball, keepers. And then what happens then is, especially for goalkeepers, Hanny, who are quiet, okay, and most of them are, and especially for goalkeepers who are unsure what to shout, it's not their fault, it's the management's fault for not explaining, okay, yeah, I want to make that perfectly clear. So any coach or management who's listening to this, okay, yeah, if your goalkeeper is not shouting the right things to their team, it's your fault, not the goalkeepers, okay, yeah, especially if it's a younger goalkeeper, because they don't know. It's exceptionally difficult to shout. So as a coach, you need to be guiding, obviously, your team, your goalkeeper, what to shout, etc. again, as I say, hopefully that will help Annie. Again, and if you just start off with like loud, sharp instructions with a name, okay, what will happen is that will build your daughter's confidence, but also as well, your daughter's teammates will take notice. They will start to understand, hold on a minute, when obviously your daughter, you've not mentioned your daughter's name in the email, Hanny, so can't mention it. So let's say your daughter's called Hanny, like yourself. So the teammates will know that when Hanny shouts or when your daughter shouts in a game, they need to listen. And that is hopefully you understand that, Hanny, and anyone else listening to this, you know, that as a goalkeeper, it's good to communicate, but most goalkeepers are taught wrong. They're taught just to communicate, just meaningless talking. Nope, okay, yeah, as a goalkeeper, you've got to talk when the time's right, and then your teammates will listen because they know, hey, when Hanny's shouting, we need to listen. Oh, that makes sense? And the next thing as well, I've got this the wrong way round, sorry, Hanny. What your daughter needs to do is visualize first, okay, yeah? So what I've just explained to yourself, if you can just get your daughter just to visualize, just communicating exactly what I've just said, communicating in her mind just for a few minutes each day, communicating with their teammates, giving instructions exactly like I've just said in this video, giving encouragement like I've said in this video, giving instructions and warnings like I've said in this video. If your daughter, I promise you, if she does that, if she visualizes, you know, every 5 to 10, once or twice a day for like 5 minutes tops, okay, yeah, so like 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes tops a day, so it's not a long time. If she visualizes every single day, Hanny, while she's doing the 30-day challenge, about communicating with her team, exactly like I've just said, but it's important that she puts that into practice as well, because where most people get wrong in goalkeeper and in life as well, when they're taught to visualize, they just visualize in the mind and they think it's going to automatically happen. In the real world, it doesn't work like that. You visualize things first in your mind over and over and over again, and then you've got to put it into practice. You visualize, put it into practice. Visualize, put it into practice. And I promise you, Hanny, it'll become that your daughter within 30 days, okay, and then if she consistently does it after the 30-day challenge, I promise you within the next 30 days to 60 days, you'll see an amazing difference in your daughter. And as I say, also as well, it might be worthwhile going to see the coach and the manager. Please let them watch this video as well, if it helps, and just say, look, you know, my daughter, she's a bit quiet. As you know, the coach probably knows your daughter's a bit quiet, but the reason why she's quiet, she doesn't know what to say, and that's the coach's and the management's responsibility to explain what she should be saying. So again, I'm just going to say, hey coach, listen, you know, watch this video, or this is what Ray Newland from Just for Keepers advised. Can you please help my daughter? And if the coach and management have got anything about them, they'll go, not a problem, okay, yeah, not a problem. Hopefully they won't be offended that I said that they should be, you know, that they should be telling your daughter anyway. But again, most managers and coaches, with the greatest respect, if they don't understand goalkeeping, they probably won't even realise themselves that they should be advising their goalkeepers what they should be communicating, if that makes sense. Because also certain managers as well will want their goalkeepers, I'm guessing, okay, well not I'm guessing, I know, if the coaching and management knows what they're talking about, they'll want their goalkeeper to communicate in a certain way. Obviously, they won't want their goalkeeping. They won't want their goalkeeper just like thrashing their teammates and thrashing the defenders and screaming and shouting at them, because obviously that's not going to do anything for the team. That's going to obviously discourage the team. So most coaches and managers will want their goalkeeper to talk in a certain way, give certain instructions to their teammates. But as a coach and a manager, okay, and fingers crossed you'll pass this to them, Hanny, you can't expect a goalkeeper, especially a young 13-year-old girl goalkeeper, you can't expect her to know what she should be shouting. This is where the adults and the coaches need to step in and help. So please go and ask the coach for help, Hanny. Again, Hanny, sorry, if it helps, just show them this video, okay, yeah. And again, if the management's not advising your daughter what to shout, hopefully they'll go, oh, yep, I should have realised. And most coaches, again, they don't realise they should be. They automatically think goalkeepers know what they're talking about. And most goalkeepers, especially the younger ones, they need to be guided. Okay, they need to be guided. So I hope that helps, Annie. Again, please remember, just get your daughter to visualise everything I've said in this video, day in, day out. but then put it into practice. And the other thing I've got to mention as well, the reason why your daughter needs to communicate as well, more importantly, is for herself, okay? Because what that does is that keeps your daughter's concentration going as well. So by talking as a goalkeeper to yourself actually helps with concentration. So again, another thing your daughter can do as well, so when she's not shouting at the defenders, she could be saying, come on, Hanny, you know, as I say, that was a great save before that you made. Keep yourself on your toes, Hanny. You know, come on, Hanny, keep concentrating. So get Hanny to keep talking to herself throughout the game. Because what that does is that keeps Hanny, you know, concentrating. And also as well, if Hanny should have shouted something to the defender, okay, and she missed out, which will happen, don't tell her not to worry. Your daughter should be saying, come on, I missed that. I should have told my left back that, you know, left shoulder. So again, she's just talking to herself. So it's super important. Again, if you look at any professional goalkeepers playing, again, if you can get closer, if you can get sometimes like the camera will get a close up on the goalkeepers and you'll see them sort of mumbling. They're talking to themselves. I know it sounds crazy, okay, yeah, but by talking to yourself as a goalkeeper, you are keeping yourself in the game, especially if there's not much to do. You're keeping yourself in the game and you're keeping your concentration. So communication as a goalkeeper is super, in fact, it's vital. It's not super important, it's vital. One, I say, it keeps ourselves in a game, okay, yeah. And two, obviously, it helps us, obviously, you know, keep our defence solid. And the more you can communicate with your defence as a goalkeeper, and you can obviously, that actually stops the shots coming in as well. In fact, the best games that I ever played was when I wasn't having any shots at me, okay, because I told my defenders, hey, left shoulder, right shoulder, you know, get in, you know, tuck in, step up, etc. And to be honest with you, most of the supporters watching would have no idea that the reason why there was no shots in that game was because I was sort of like telling my defence where to be. But that's how important goalkeeping and communication is, because as I say, not only does it help your defenders, okay, yeah, but inevitably it helps ourselves as goalkeepers, because obviously if the less shots that we have at ourselves by communicating, the stronger the chances we are of keeping clean sheets. So I hope that helps, Annie. Please pass that on to your daughter. So remember, as a goalkeeper, this is super important, okay? It's important to communicate, but you've got to communicate at the right times to your teammates. Don't be one of these goalkeepers that just goes talk, okay? Because I promise you, your defenders will just stop listening to you. But when you communicate at the right times and you mention a name, they'll listen because they think, okay, I need to listen to my goalkeeper, because the only time they shout is when there's a problem for me as the defender, so they'll listen. You also need to communicate for yourself, like I've already said, because it keeps you in the game, it keeps your concentration going. And also for coaches and managers, okay, and also parents as well, please remember, don't expect young goalkeepers to instantly understand what to communicate, okay? It's a super difficult thing to do. For older goalkeepers, never mind younger keepers. So as adults and coaches and management, it's your responsibility to teach your goalkeepers, okay? So don't you dare shout at your goalkeepers, seriously, okay, yeah? Don't you dare shout at your goalkeepers for not communicating or even not communicating correctly. If you're, as a coach or a manager, you're not telling them how to communicate, because it's your fault, not the young goalkeeper's fault. So hope that helped, guys. Hope that helps, Annie. All the best. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the J4K 30-day challenge. Have a fantastic day.